my name is Jason Hahn, and I teach at Abington Senior High School in Abington, Pennsylvania. And today we're going to talk about topic 5.1, beneficial and harmful effects. And in this video, we will investigate how a computing innovation can have an impact beyond its intended purpose. So here's what we're going to learn. We're going to explain how computing innovation can have an impact beyond its intended purpose. And we have these here for your reference. I will be covering these throughout the video, so they are here for your viewing pleasure. Now, let's look at an example. The internet was originally designed for scientists, and what they used it for was to share information quickly and securely without having to mail things back and forth. The computers were located across the United States, and it was just an easy way for them to communicate and collaborate. Nowadays, many people spend more time on the internet than sleeping. So if you consider all the ways that you use the internet, whether it be your social media apps, Netflix and YouTube, or just sharing snaps with one another, we're on it all the time. Now, what happens is, well, before that, imagine your life without the World Wide Web. How different would it be? And for you, you might have grown up with the phone or an iPad of some sort, and it's a very interesting time. Now, what happens is we get these potential dopamine feedback loops, excuse me. And so when you're, I guess, getting a like from somebody that you admire, or a lot of people are commenting on your posts, it makes you a little bit happy. And you'll always try to seek out for these things, or you're trying to seek out the next big thing. And maybe you're up late at night on your bed, looking at your phone mindlessly. And you might be trying to find a little bit more dopamine. Now, what can happen though, in extreme cases, this can lead to sleep deprivation, depression, anxiety, impulsivity. And as you see this little girl here, she looks very sad. And I think a lot of us feel that way when we're stripped of our internet connectivity. Now, there is a little TikTok PSA that shows up when you're on TikTok for too long. And usually it's a guy with a ring light, something like this. And he says, "Hey, I realize that all these videos are fun, da 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 da, but maybe you should log off and get some sleep." And this was done in a response as like a band-aid to patch over, I guess, the effects that this was having on young teens, especially. So, computing innovations can be used in ways that their creators had not originally intended. And responsible programmers try to consider the unintended ways their computing innovations can be used and the potential beneficial and harmful effects of these new uses. So next, let's go into microtransactions. So microtransactions typically happen in like free games and applications. Some of the AAA titles also have microtransactions, but what they are little payments for you to get cosmetics. Sometimes there's paywall functionality. In other words, let's say you're using an image editing app and a little watermark will show up on the final product, and you can get rid of it if you pay like $1 or two or what have you. And sometimes there are pay to win things like power ups that really help you win and be powerful. But typically nowadays, that's not the case. A lot of the times, you pay into their currency, so you get gold or V-Bucks, coins, chips, and even in the real world, you have Spucks at Starbucks, and you convert your money into this currency, and you have to use it there. You can't convert it back. And there's a casino effect because if you're using chips, you don't realize how much money you're actually spending, and sometimes it leads to overpaying for something or just paying too many times and draining your bank account. Now, loot boxes are another aspect where you get a box that you open and you get like a bunch of cosmetics and skins, and it's considered gambling because it has an addictive nature, and it can be dangerous. So some of the ways computing innovations can be used may have a harmful impact on society, the economy, or culture. And it's not possible for a programmer to consider all the ways a computing innovation can be used. And lastly, rapid sharing of a program or running a program with a large number of users can result in significant impacts beyond the intended purpose or control of the programmer. And that I want to highlight, there's an economy system that happens in a lot of games where certain items will be like a denomination. Like a certain item is like, this is the dollar. And with a lot of people, they kind of run on this currency. And what happens is you can start selling these things for real money. And the items can be up to like $400 a piece. So what should we take away? Um, Again, we explained how a computing innovation can have an impact beyond its intended purpose, and these were the topics that we covered. But more importantly, as we start coding more and more and more, I want you to be mindful, to be responsible when you start programming. If you're making the next new thing, the next big social media app, or what have you, please be considerate of the people that you're trying to write for, and try to mitigate disaster before it starts. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.